Hi, my name is Christopher, your storyteller. Before we get into this story, I've got a gift for you. I've written an exclusive Wild West tale you won't find on YouTube, and it's completely free. Just check the link in the description or the pinned comment to grab your copy. Now saddle up and let's ride straight into today's story. Before we dive in, pause for a moment and tell me something. Where in the world are you watching from, and what time is it right now? Maybe it's sunrise in Nairobi, midnight in New York, afternoon in Canada, or evening in France. Don't just watch quietly, drop a comment below and let's see how far this story reaches across the world. Now, lean in and let's begin. They say if you drive across the Silver Bridge at night, alone with your headlights dimmed and your radio low, you'll hear breathing that doesn't belong to you. Slow, ragged, too heavy for any man. Some folks say it's the sound of wings scraping against steel. Others swear they've heard whispers, like a child trying to speak through a throat full of gravel. Most people laugh it off. Most people keep driving. But not Jeremiah Rockefort, a 41-year-old factory worker with soot on his hands and debts on his back. No, Jeremiah made the mistake of stopping. It was 2:13 in the morning. Thick fog rolled off the Ohio River like ghostly fingers crawling onto the road. Jeremiah's old Chevy coughed and sputtered before giving up entirely, right there at the center of the bridge. He cursed, slammed the wheel, and muttered that final line all doomed men say, "This ain't my night." He didn't know he was right. He didn't know he had been chosen. He stepped out of the car, breath turning to mist in the cold air. The bridge was silent. Too silent. No crickets. No river splash. Even the wind seemed to be holding its breath. Then, tap. A sound above him. Like talons against metal. Jeremiah froze. Tap. Closer now. He squinted up into the fog, heart pounding in his ears. Just darkness. Then, two red lights appeared. No, not lights. They weren't glowing like lanterns. They were alive, pulsing, studying him. Jeremiah stumbled backward, whispering a prayer he barely remembered. Wings, massive leathery wings, unfurled from the fog, spreading wider than the roof of his truck. A shape stepped forward, hunched yet towering. Not bird. Not man. Something caught between the two, as if heaven and hell had both refused it. Then it spoke. Not with words, no. With memory. In an instant, Jeremiah felt a scream inside his skull. Not his own. A child's. Desperate. Begging. Dying. He saw flashes, dirt, blood. Teenagers laughing. A stone smashing down. A shallow grave by moonlight. And then, black wings rising from the earth. Jeremiah wanted to run. To jump. To die. Anything but stand there. But the creature stepped closer, eyes burning like hot coals in wet ash. Its head tilted, as if deciding. And then, the bridge began to rumble. But it wasn't the wind. It wasn't the river. It was laughter. The laughter didn't come from the creature. It came from under the bridge. At first it was faint, like a single voice echoing in a tunnel. Then it multiplied. Male, female, young, crying, laughing, whispering, begging, all at once. 1,000 voices swirling in the fog beneath Jeremiah's feet, as though the river itself were full of souls trying to break the surface. Then snap. A strip of metal from the railing buckled like wet paper. The creature's head jerked toward the sound. Its wings curled inward as if bracing for something, remembering something. Jeremiah didn't wait to find out what. He stumbled backward toward his truck, fumbling for the door handle, when the creature moved. Not walked. Not flew. It vanished. One moment it was in front of him. The next, gone. Jeremiah scrambled into his truck and slammed the door. His hands shook so violently he could barely turn the key. The headlights flickered. And there it was. Sitting in the passenger seat. Knees bent. Head tilted so low its face was inches from his. Those red eyes weren't just looking at him. They were looking through him. Then Jeremiah heard it. Not in his ears. In his mind. Tell them. I remember. Jeremiah screamed, threw the door open, and tumbled out onto the road. He didn't stop running. He didn't stop screaming. He made it off the bridge. He made it into town. He made it onto Main Street, barefoot and bleeding. He made it into Murphy's Diner, where half the town was still drinking coffee at 2 a.m. Jeremiah burst through the door, face white as bone, and yelled only 2 words. "It knows." The room froze. Forks dropped. Chairs scraped. Every head turned. Before anyone could ask what, Jeremiah's body went stiff. His spine arched back so violently you could hear it pop. His eyes rolled white. And then, he laughed. Not like a man. Like 50 people laughing through one throat. and then he collapsed, dead. Police said it was a heart attack. Old folks said it was a curse. The men at the diner? They just stared at the empty doorway, whispering to each other. What does it remember? The sheriff sealed Murphy's diner by sunrise. They said it was procedure. A sudden death meant health inspections, witness statements, paperwork. But no one bought that. Not when the men inside swore that Jeremiah laughed with voices that didn't belong to him. By noon, the rumors had already split into factions. He saw the devil. It was radiation sickness, something from the old factory. No, it was Mothman. But old Eli Turner, who'd been quiet since 1967, finally spoke. And when he did, every head turned. This ain't the first time someone died after seeing it. Eli didn't look at anyone while he said it. His eyes stayed locked on the bridge beyond the diner window, the same one they'd rebuilt after the collapse. Back then, we thought it was warning us. Now I'm thinking, maybe it wasn't a warning. Maybe we just got in its way. The younger folks laughed it off, but the older ones didn't. Not one. Because they remembered something most people didn't know. After the Silver Bridge collapse in 1967, the one that killed 46 people, there were sealed reports filed by emergency crews. Reports no one was supposed to read. Reports that mentioned bodies pulled from the wreckage with no signs of drowning. No blunt trauma. No burning. Pure terror. Faces twisted like they'd seen something before they died. Something so horrifying that death wasn't impact, it was awareness. And now, Jeremiah's body looked just like theirs. The sheriff knew these whispers would spread, so he did something quiet. Something desperate. He made a phone call to someone outside of town. Not FBI. Not CDC. Someone higher. Someone who already knew. By nightfall, black vans were rolling into Point Pleasant. No markings. No plates. Jeremiah's body was gone before midnight. The diner was scrubbed clean. The locals were told to forget. But someone didn't. Because someone had filmed Jeremiah's last moments on their phone and posted it online. Tomorrow morning, the rest of the world will see it. And that is when things stop being local and start becoming global. It hit the internet at 3:17 a.m. No title, no description, no tags. Just a 33-second video uploaded to a throwaway account with 0 followers. But in the first hour, it had 12,000 views. Not because it was shared, but because YouTube's algorithm forced it into people's feeds. Like it wanted to be seen. The footage was shaky, filmed from behind a coffee booth inside Murphy's diner. The camera barely caught Jeremiah, but it captured his reflection in the napkin dispenser on the table. And in that reflection, something stood behind him. Not human, not shadow, tall, winged, unmoving, like it wanted to be seen. At 0:14, Jeremiah began laughing. At 0:19, he whispered something in a voice that wasn't his. Audio engineers would later isolate the sound, claiming there were 2 overlapping frequencies, one human and one registering below audible range. And then at 0:27, just before he died, the reflection moved. Not Jeremiah. One wing, lowering slowly around his shoulders. Like a lover embracing him. Like a priest anointing him. Like the claim. The video cuts out. By sunrise, the video had been mirrored, reposted, and screenshotted across 5 platforms. Millions saw it before every copy vanished. Taken down not by strikes or copyright claims, but by an unknown authority flagging it as restricted by national protocol. Even searching the title would freeze people's browsers. But that only made it worse. Because the internet does 2 things well. Ignore what's allowed. Obsess over what's forbidden. Hashtags erupted. Hashtag Mothman proof, hashtag Point Pleasant prophecy, hashtag Bridge curse returns. Influencers mocked it. Scientists denied it. Priests warned against sharing demonic signs. But one group didn't post memes. Didn't argue. Didn't explain. They simply commented, "We warned you." Their username? The ones who saw it first. Tomorrow, they're holding a live broadcast, and they promised to tell the truth. They called themselves the 13. Not a cult. Not a fan club. Not a conspiracy group. Just 13 ordinary people from different towns, who all shared one impossible thing. Each of them had seen it before Jeremiah died. And now, for the first time, they were speaking. The live stream was scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern. 3 million people were waiting. No host. No flashy graphics. No intro music. Just a dimly lit room. One camera. A single microphone at a wooden table. A middle-aged woman sat down first. Her name appeared on the screen. Adeline Corsell, school bus driver. She didn't smile. Didn't greet the viewers. She simply whispered, "It followed me home." A teenage boy replaced her next, pale, silent, trembling. Malcolm Ivers, amateur radio hobbyist. He didn't speak a word. He just placed his radio receiver on the table, tuned the dial, and through the static, the sound of wings. Slow, heavy, breathing. The chat exploded. "Fake. This is edited. I heard that same sound in my woods last year. Why does this feel like a confession?" Then came witness number 7, a tall, weathered man in uniform. Captain Luke Fontaine, former Army Corps of Engineers. His hands shook as he adjusted the mic. "You think it's a monster," he said. "You're wrong." The room fell silent. Monsters hunt. This one waits. It doesn't chase. It chooses. He leaned closer. "If you've seen it, it's already decided something about you." The chat froze. No more spam. No jokes. No memes. Just 5 words flooding the feed. What did it choose us for? Captain Fontaine didn't answer. He just whispered, "None of us have more than a week." The lights cut out. The stream ended. No one believed it at first. None of us have more than a week. A dramatic line, right? A scare tactic. A marketing stunt. Until witness number 4, Adeline Corsell, the school bus driver, vanished. Her house was found locked from the inside. Car in the driveway. Dinner still warm on the stove. Front door sealed. Windows shut. No sign of forced entry. The only clue was a single white feather lying on her pillow. The news ran it as a possible kidnapping. But the internet wasn't buying it. Someone pulled up the archive of the live stream. At 42 minutes and 17 seconds, right when Captain Fontaine said, "It chooses," the camera caught something in the reflection of the window. Not a face. Not a man. Not even a full shape. Just 2 red reflections like headlights, except they blinked. Then witness number 2 disappeared. Malcolm Ivers, the radio hobbyist. His parents said he went to bed early. They found his window open, his bedsheets untouched, and on the floor, claw marks, 4 inches deep, dragged toward the windowsill. By day 3, 5 witnesses were gone. No bodies, no blood, just the same lingering smell in every house. Wet earth, rust, and feathers. The remaining witnesses tried to regroup, releasing a second video from an undisclosed safe house. This time they didn't bother sitting calmly. They didn't bother sounding rational. They were panicking. Captain Fontaine spoke first. "We were wrong to come forward," he said, sweat pouring down his neck. "It doesn't want attention. It wants obedience." A woman cried behind him. Someone banged on the door. The camera turned toward the hallway. Silence. The screaming. The feed went black. Nobody can agree on what day the shift officially happened. But most people point to November 14th, 2:12 a.m. That's when every security camera in Point Pleasant turned toward the sky, on its own. Traffic lights, doorbell cams, baby monitors, even phones charging on nightstands, woke themselves up and started recording. At first, just clouds. The entire sky split. Not lightning, not auroras. A jagged red tear, pulsing like a heartbeat, stretching across the stars. Some say it looked like a burning wing. Others, an eye. Dogs howled. Cows broke through fences. Sirens malfunctioned and blared in different tones at once, like an orchestra tuning itself into madness. But the worst part wasn't the sky. It was the whispers. They weren't loud. They didn't come from above. They came from inside people's heads. A soft voice repeating one phrase, "Remember me." Across town, Noah Tremblay, the teenage runaway who mocked the first live stream on TikTok, posted a video from the roof of a gas station. You can still find it, though most re-uploads are heavily filtered because of how unsettling it feels. His voice is trembling as he films the pulsing red sky. He whispers, "Guys, I don't think it's coming. I think it's already here." Something moves behind him. Not walking, not flying, gliding, like a shadow peeling itself off the air. Noah doesn't notice until his viewers start commenting. "Behind you. It's on the sign. Run, run, run." He turns, and the screen shakes violently. Then, for 3 perfect frames, the camera catches it. A towering figure, 6, maybe 7 feet tall. Black wings folded like wet leather. Eyes like open wounds. Head tilted, as if smiling. The video ends with static and a faint sound, like someone being lifted into wind. No body was found. No phone either. But that night, millions finally believed. And that was exactly when everything got worse. By sunrise, Point Pleasant was gone from Google Maps. Literally, you could type the name, pin the coordinates, even zoom into Street View. But every road leading into town went blurry. Buildings vanished into pixelated fog. Anyone trying to drive and hit roadblocks that weren't there the night before. Armed men in unmarked black uniforms, no badges, no patches, escorted people back with one sentence on loop. Civilian disturbance. No entry permitted. But it wasn't just outside traffic they were blocking. It was information. Every major news outlet suddenly switched tone overnight. Last night? Mass hysteria. This morning? Fireworks malfunction. Gas leak. Swamp lights. But leaked audio would later prove they had made contact. Not with the creature, but with someone who had already seen it and lived. Her name was Mireille Gagnon, a quiet French-Canadian woman in her 60s who lived alone on the outskirts of town. She had been the first person to report the creature, decades earlier. Nobody believed her. Not even her husband. He disappeared 6 months later. That morning, she walked to the barricade herself, dragging an old leather suitcase. The soldiers raised their rifles. But she didn't flinch. She simply said, "You cannot trap it. You cannot shoot it. If you want to speak with it, you will need me." According to the leaked transcript, the commanding officer asked, "What makes you think you can negotiate with whatever that thing is?" She slowly opened her suitcase. Inside was a stack of letters, yellowed with age, tied with twine. Every one of them signed, M. She looked the guard dead in the eye. "Because it has been writing to me for 42 years. They took Mireille into Hangar 3, the same one where soldiers swore they'd seen 2 red lights hovering in the dark, moving like breathing embers. They didn't chain her. They didn't search her. They were too afraid to touch her. Inside, they dimmed the lights and left her alone at a metal table with only 2 objects. A cassette recorder. And a microphone connected to nothing visible. She placed her suitcase on the table and whispered, "I know you're listening." Silence. Then a drip. From the metal beams above, a wet shadow descended, stretching along the wall like spilled ink. The security feed later showed no clear shape, only distorted pixels as if the camera itself refused to see. Mireille calmly untied the letters. Hands trembling, she unfolded the oldest one. She began to read. "You are not a curse. You are a warning." But no one listens to warnings spoken in silence. The shadow shifted, pressing closer to her. But she continued. "They think you kill for pleasure. They think you hunt for blood. They do not understand. You do not take life. You borrow it before the fire comes." A low hum rattled the table legs. One soldier watching screamed. It's responding to her. The lights are reacting to her voice." Inside the room, Mireille did not look at it. She simply said, "You've been trying to save us, haven't you?" For the first time, something answered. Not with sound, but with light. The walls glowed red, painting her in crimson wings. She nodded slowly, eyes glistening. "Then let me be your voice." The footage from Hangar 3 was never officially released. 3 versions of the event exist, each sworn to be true, each completely incompatible with the others. Version 1, the military account. The official statement claims no entity was present. The strange lights were dismissed as equipment malfunction. Mireille allegedly suffered a psychological break, began yelling at an imaginary presence, and was escorted out peacefully. No mention of red illumination. No mention of shifting shadows. No mention of what happened to the letters. Version 2, the scientist's account, leaked transcript. One unnamed technician swore under oath that after Mireille read the final line, "Not all wings are meant to fly. Some are meant to shield." The entire hangar shook. Metal beams bent inward, as if something massive perched atop the structure. No alarms triggered. No power loss. Just gravity bending sideways. Then Mireille vanished. Gone. No flash. No trace. No sound. Just air folding shut. Version 3, the anonymous tape. A cassette appeared 6 months later, left at a radio station in West Virginia. No fingerprints. No return address. Just a note. Play only once. Believe at your own risk. The tape contains Mireille's voice, calm, whispering. "They do not come to destroy. They come to warn. Stop searching for what they are. Start preparing for what they're hiding us from." At the end, another voice, not human but not monstrous, says one single word. Soon. To this day, no one can agree what really happened inside Hangar 3. Some say Mireille merged with it, becoming something between worlds. Others insist she was disintegrated. A growing few believe she is still out there. Not missing. Not dead. Just waiting. For everyone else to finally listen.